Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. And of course, welcome to the weekend. Here we go. I wasn't actually planning to come on tonight, but yeah, this was on my watch list. Had a few moments. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching this. Let's do it. And of course, just finished it, 10 minutes ago. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming online. I'm doing it. What can I say? This is B movie greatness. This has at least 4 layers of cheese over the top. Uh, Fun. You just gotta embrace the madness and the fact that they're hitching onto another franchise that is just as cheesy and daft. Yeah, why not? Clownado. What can I say? Um, this is everything you come to expect from low budget B movie horror. Uh, Overacting, wooden acting, cheesy effects, dodgy storyline. It has it all, but it's fun. Oh my god, it's you just gotta love how when someone goes on camera and they're like, "We're gonna have fun with this," and let's not forget boobies. God, there's boobies galore in this, and I'm a sucker for boobies, especially real ones, not plastic boobies that don't move or Hollywood non-existent boobies that the actresses keep trying to show, but there's nothing to actually to put out there. Genuine, honest to God boobies. Thank you for that. You made me a happy man. Yes, I'm at that sort of age where it doesn't take too much to make me happy, but yeah, this movie is just fun. I don't think you're meant to take it too seriously. Let's be honest. So essentially, the plot is it starts off, and we've got this sort of film noir, Sam Spade intro to a movie, which was an interesting take. I was not expecting it. God, what are you expecting with a if you see the movie poster, which is on the thumbnail, and if you see the title, you know it's a rip-off, like blatant rip-off of the Sharknado movies, which I love, by the way. Um, do they count as horror or sci-fi? Because if they don't count as horror, then obviously I'm not going to go delve into it in the channel. But they're definitely a lot of fun. They know what they are. They're self-aware, and that's what I look for in a movie. A movie that's self-aware. There's nothing worse than a pretentious, shitty movie that takes itself too seriously and it comes from the perspective of, I'm an artist. No time for that whatsoever. But a movie that's like, yeah, we've got a limited budget. What can we do? Let's just have a bit of a giggle and a laugh and just put something out there. What the hell? Why not? I'm looking at the IMDb here, and 80% of the characters don't even have their picture. They don't even have full profiles. So that kind of gives me an indication that this is a group of buddies. This is a group of mates that have come together to make a movie. And I do not, this is not disparaging in any way. Bloody hell, good on them. If you can come together with your friends and associates with an idea of, let's create something and put it out there in the world, bloody hell, why not? Once again, I'm sick of, we've all been like touched by the corporate machine of Hollywood, which is dreadful. And they believe they are the epitome of storytelling and movie making, and they just put out absolute schlock. I will never ever disparage a movie that's genuinely just trying to have a bit of fun. Now I will of course make fun of a shitty movie that's trying to take itself too seriously, which we have done in the past. If you're trying to take yourself too seriously and you're not producing the goods, well, guess what? Not happening. But yeah, this movie starts off, like I said, 1920s, like Dick Tracy noir. We've got what looks like a private investigator at his dame, and they're talking in that I don't know, it's Dumyangistan anyway, but is this Chicago or they're talking that over the top accent anyway. He's a piece of shit, he did this to me, blah blah blah, and doing all that stuff. So essentially we have Savannah, she's cheating on her husband, partner, whatever, who's the criminal overlord of clowns and circuses. Yeah, it's that daft. But yeah, they want to rob him, take his money. He storms in, and God, who is it? Big Ronnie? Is it Big Ronnie? No, I think it is Big Ronnie, the main clown, the overseer of the circus, and they're in it looks like a privatized office, and he bursts in, and he's just overacting. I mean, Mark Hamill's Joker looks tame in comparison to this guy, giving it big licks. And he's not even in clown outfit at that point. It's funny. So he gets dispatched. She goes back to the circus. I don't know why they had him in this classy office. It's weird. They should have had him in a caravan, like a Romany type caravan or something along the end lines. I don't get why that. Obviously, location or what was available, but it didn't fit in with the theme of the carnival theme. And you know me, I'm a sucker for carnival stuff. But yeah, the locations are a bit dodgy in this. Just I think it's circumstances that they took what they can get. But yeah, those two plotting when they're both still members of the circus didn't make sense. But hey ho, we'll forgive it. You have to understand with these sort of movies that the limitations of what they have to work with, and they do their best. So that's why I'm always forgiving, because I genuinely get the impression, and from watching the whole thing, there's heart behind the movie, and when there's heart and the desire to tell a story, then I'm all on board, and it doesn't matter how cheesy it turns out to be. Like the comedy in this is on the nose. The characters are like, we've seen them 100 times before. It's not trying to do anything super outrageous or different. It's just trying to give us a fun time. And I'm all on board for that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You understand the budget, is a limitation. So you have to forgive that. Sticking your nose up in the air and expecting each movie to be like 200 million quid every time is ridiculous. So you have to, and if we're trying to break away from the stupid Hollywood stuff of we will tell you what you will like, and if you don't like it, you're an istophobe. Man, sorry, but you have to give a bit of give and take, and you have to help independent artists, because this is definitely an independent movie. It's B movie. It's it is what it is. But I had a great time. I'll not lie. I just had fun watching it. I'm not taking anything super intellectual from it. It's just there for the ride. My problem with last night's movie when I reviewed it was it was trying to be something, and it fell short because it didn't. When you're trying to tell a serious story and you're trying to tell something based on folklore, well, you need to fill in the blanks. You need to get the basics right. This movie isn't. This movie's like, we're here for boobs and gore and over the top characters, and it's just going to be daft and fun. And I hope you enjoy the ride. And I'm cool with it. That's where you have that kind of, where I'm super critical of some movies, and then movies, I guess, I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. Because it's telling you from the start what it's trying to be. And that's where you pick up, okay, I'm not meant to take this movie seriously. I'm meant to have a bit of a laugh. I'm meant to have some fun. I'm meant to enjoy the characters. and just see where it goes. And that's perfectly fine with me. So you have Savannah. She run away on her boyfriend, who's the owner of the circus / gangster. That's characters kind of pulling. Big Ronnie, he has been with them for years, and yeah, he gets dispatched quite quickly. And then they decide to humiliate Savannah by having her in the knife thrower sort of section at the starts. And they're throwing the darts and they're sticking in there, popping balloons, and that's where we get our first boobies. And you realize that this is just going to be just sexual gratification for the sake of it, just fun and games. And I'm all on board with that. You know what I mean? When it's done with, how would I put it? Because for a fact, there's movies I know that use sexual gratification to bury a bad storyline. That's where I have no time for it. When they're using sexual gratification just for the fun of it, I'm all on board. I think it's that element of fun. That's the difference. When you have that element of we're here to enjoy ourselves and we're going to use these tools, and this is the sort of movie we're going to tell. Cool, yeah, I'm on board. I'm no prude. And the fact that they're not using like fake boobies and like stick insects, they're using you've got real women actresses. Cool, all on board for that. And yeah, and they're showing the humiliation of Savannah by this, and it's a horrible relationship. So she then, after her latest humiliation, the local soothsayer / witch / fortune teller comes in, and they decide to cast a spell. So this thing kind of ramps up quickly as how the Clownado happens, and they're casting a ritualistic spell. Oh God, it's so cheesy. Yeah, and I've hung around with Wiccans and all sorts, and I've seen some cheesy attempts at magic making, and this was beautifully cheesy. And the fact that the witch has a whole box full of human-sized hearts just at her disposal for the final part, and then we see the gore, and it's over the top gore. God, let's do it. And what they're doing is they're in the process of burying Big Ronnie, who they killed, and they're all in clown outfits. So they all dress up in clown outfits to go and bury this bloke, but they decide to chop him up first. So that they're just doing it for the sake of gratuitous special effects. Fair enough. Sorry, excuse me, touch of winter. Yeah, so while they're in the process of that, these two are casting a spell. The tornado thing happens, captures them all up, and then they become demonic entities. Yeah, just why not? Fast forward to a completely different scene entirely, where we've got people at a strip club, and this is where we meet Bambi, who's dancing on the bar. Somebody gets a bit fresh. Somebody punches the other one, turns into a mini bar fight. The dame kicks them all out, and she loses her job. Yeah, because they're nice places. I have never been to a strip club, and I have had more than enough opportunities to go to one, and I've just never been interested. Not that I'm afraid of naked women or anything like that. I just don't like that scene. The fakeness of it just never really felt the need. And I'm happily, I don't know, I'm quite frugal on a day-to-day basis. I never spend money in stupid nerdy stuff. I can't justify going and throwing a couple hundred notes on that sort of thing. Just never tickled my fancy. Not that I'm talking down to anyone who does it. Do it. If it works for you, cool. It's when it doesn't work for you and you're not happy, that's when you got to question what you're doing. And that's not just that scene. I question myself on certain work that I do. It's environments where I'm not happy. And it's like, damn, I want to spend 20 years here. No. I'd rather do something productive I want to enjoy and feel invested in than just put my time in. And I feel that applies the same to not just stripping, but the sex industry in general. You know what I mean? If you're invested, that's what you want to do, and you're genuinely happy doing it, cool. But if you're unhappy, you're being exploited, and not enjoying what you do, then you need to rethink. Yes, it might be painful in the short term. I have given up so many opportunities to make money because I'm not happy in that environment. I don't want to hang out with the sort of people that are in that environment, and I don't want to sell myself out. But that's me. We'll each have our own individual standards. Not to get preachy at them, just saying, there's people get really head up about strip clubs, for example. Oh, they're the worst thing ever. They're exploitive. Yeah, they are if you're being exploited. But if you're not being exploited and you're in charge of what you do and you're living a fulfilled existence, then who am I to say anything? That's just my, simple theory on it. But yeah, we're in this bar, and the regulars are quite respectful. It is that weird thing. Regulars know there's boundaries you don't cross. It's a show, it's a performance. Does good food, and it starts off because this guy, Hunter, picks up a hitchhiking Elvis impersonator who just happened to be black. And they're all like, "You're dressed like that right here," blah blah blah, and it's all done in good taste. I'll tell you one thing: they did the diversity thing actually really well. This could have been in your face, on your nose, like horrible. But with the nature of this movie, the fact that it's a good-natured movie, and you need to take that into account, this is a good-natured movie. You feel it from the start. This is, like I said, good-natured. We're here to have fun and just be daft for an hour and a half. It doesn't matter. That's what the woke crowd don't understand, is when someone's good natured and taking each character as they are, nobody gives a toss who or what they are, as long as it's done in the spirit of the story being told. But these people are miserable anyway, and they'll never be happy, so that's why they do what they do. And that's why they've destroyed so many franchises. And this is another reason, like I've said, why horror is always going to last longer and not end up damaged by this, because just a phase, and horror will breeze through this phase at the moment, and whatever happens next after these Muppets, horror will still be horror, still be weirdos wanting to make daft movies and have boobies and guts and gore all at once and mess with you, and we love it for it. But yeah, Elvis impersonator, they end up going to the bar, mini bar fight. So the dancer gets sacked, so she ends up going with them to the diner. And it's all the whole thing of how the gang gets together. That's what it is. And then we see this other young girl that some bloke appears, drives up, goes, "Would you like a ride?" And she runs into the diner and sits down with these guys. Sorry, some creep stalking me. So it's all just how to get everybody into the diner for the first scene. Major scene with the Clownado. That's what kind of happens. What was I expecting from Clownado? Because obviously, I'm a fan of the Sharknado franchise. I've seen them up to the flip out to the stars. God, how many movies are there now? 7? I've definitely seen 6 of them. But yeah, you expect with the Sharknado, it's running around. How can they do that with a Clownado? Well, they don't. What they do is they have this killer gang, and the tornado like lands them where they are, and then they just go on the rampage. Initially, I was a bit dubious, but it worked because of the daftness of it. So the tornado like cuts off all communications and destroys buildings. Then they land, and then they just go on a killing spree in the diner. And I'm okay with that. It was done with the story. What I thought was a bit strange was that Savannah, who was escaping, she ended up in the diner as well because she was escaping the circus. So they capture her, they kill her, but because of the spell, she comes back to life. And she becomes a rampant killer in her own respect. And yeah, fair enough. I thought it was a bit easy, killing her when she was one of the main characters, but then they give her own story arc, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool with that. Yeah, and then they try to escape, but the tornado, and this is where initially I thought it was a bad idea, and then it worked because the tornado or the Clownado is cutting everybody off, so it's sweeping through. It's preventing any escape because it's blocking roads, and then it's trapping these people that they've nowhere to go. And then it just gets, the usual cheesy goodness. Of course, Hunter has a friend who just happens to fly a plane, and they just happen to know someone who has the access to liquid nitrogen. And the whole theory of, dispersing a tornado will destroy these people. Yeah, and they play that all like, and it's cheesy and daft as you expect. Most of the cast get wiped out. I was a bit annoyed at Black Elvis getting wiped out. He was a cool character. He was completely unoffensive and was just along for the ride. But yeah, the dispatch for him. God, who got left? There is about 4 people left. Like the cannon fodder, this is ridiculous. Like nobody else outside the small bubble in the truck gets killed. But that's fair enough. That's what it's a slasher stroke gory B movie. That's what you expect from it. It's not trying to be anything pretentious, so yeah, just go with it. Yeah, and then it comes to this conclusion. They do that in the plane. Clowns still survived, but then we'll have Savannah reappear again and battles them while they escape, and then they just kind of end the story there. Not much to it. It's nothing. It's not Oscar bait or anything like that. It's just a fun B movie, and I had a laugh. And it's one I would stick on again, even as background, just for a bit of fun. And do you know what? Sometimes you need that. It's unless it, and this is where my sort of fan or what is it? The movies I like kind of diverge. I love cheesy nonsense like this because it's portrayed as cheesy nonsense. I'm not trying to be anything. But if you're trying to be a serious, drama driven movie, then you need to do it right. And that's why I'm so critical when something tries to be cerebral or classy. If you're only doing it from an artist's point of view of, oh, I'm an artist, you wouldn't understand. Well, piss off. No time for you. I'm less critical of these sort of movies because they're doing what they're meant to, and they're telling you what they're going to be, and you just go along for the ride. Where, as you know, where movies have been super critical of when they're trying to be clever, but they're not because they can't get the basics right. I just think it's pretentious, and I have no time for it. So yeah, I could watch 100 of these movies and just have a giggle and a laugh. And yeah, there's no real plot, but it doesn't matter because it's not trying to be. And it's not trying to preach to you or do anything like that. It's just trying to have a bit of fun. And why not? So there you go. There's my review. Short and sweet. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep up to date with the channel. Obviously, we've quite a bit going on this weekend, actually, with a few live streams with guests. So keep up to date with that. Do the type of clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.